the induction to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
Did you know this was happening? Like, a lot of people were confused why you were here in Toronto, first of all. So
yeah, no, I had no idea, honestly. I definitely didn't anticipate this at all. This is a big surprise.
What went through your head when you saw, the highlights, you heard your fellow fighters talk about you, the people in the UFC and everything?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a little emotional, I was sweating like crazy up there, It was cool. Someone said I filmed something this summer, and they said they were going to show like a preview of that. So that's what I thought it was. But then when I realized it was the Hall of Fame, I was definitely taken back.
And this might seem like a strange question, but given what you've accomplished in your career, did you expect this to happen to you at some point, or did you not even think about the UFC Hall of Fame?
You don't think of that stuff at first, when you first get into this. When I first started fighting MMA, there wasn't even a 55-pound division in the UFC, so I didn't know what to anticipate. I just got into this sport because I liked competing, and then once I got into the UFC, I knew I wanted to be a champion. I wanted to be one of the best, and here I am, 15 years later.
I know it's obviously pretty fresh and early, but you're gonna have to put any thought into who's gonna do your speech at the induction.
I have some ideas. Got to go home and talk to the family a little bit, but I have some ideas.
The last one for me. You seem like one of those rare fighters that no one really seems to have a personal issue with. Like, you might have beaten their favorite fighters, and it's like a competitive dislike, but you never really hear someone say anything negative about Frankie Edgar. So I'm curious, when you look back on your legacy, is that something that really kind of stands out as an important thing, like just the amount of respect that you have from everyone?
Yeah, I think I give people respect, so that gets respect back. So I'm a straight up dude, and I think most people take me that way.
Frankie over here, congratulations. You've been in the UFC since, February 2007, Tyson Griffin. What's the key to your longevity, do you feel? Was it the fact that you competed in your same weight class for so many years, didn't cut a lot of weight, or is it just training? Like, what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, just type person. I'm a stubborn person. I always knew I wanted to compete. I always knew I wanted to be successful in this sport, and, jumped in at 55 and didn't cut any weight, and ends up 45, ends up at 35, always trying to stay in it, trying to be competitive, trying to fight for a title always. I think just the consistency is from being in the gym and never slacking.
Finishing Gray Maynard at UFC 136, where does that rank in terms of career highlights? Like, what are some of your most memorable moments of your career?
Yeah, that's got to be right up there. Obviously, winning the title, being the best at the craft that I chose, it always stands out. Yair fight, Cub Swanson first fight, Chad Mendes fight, those all stand out.
And just last one for me, again, I mentioned it there, you were one of the few fighters to fight in a weight class where you didn't have to cut much weight. Why do you think we don't see more of that in MMA? Like, why do you think fighters are worried about strength, and is that something you'd like to see more of in the octagon? Yeah,
it's just as the sport gets more and more competitive, guys find ways to get little edges, and I was able to do that back in the day, and I don't know if that will happen again. I would like to see guys cut less weight, but if you can make weight and still perform, then by all means, that's why the rules are the way they are.
Frankie, congratulations on the announcement. Since retirement, and obviously now coming off of this announcement, you're going to be asked so many questions about your career in the next couple of months. Are you someone that enjoys reflecting and looking at your big moments and speaking about yourself in that way, or are you a bit uncomfortable with?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a guy that likes to stroke myself too much. I'm not. Well, it depends. But you know what I'm saying. I'm not really a guy that's into patting myself on the back too much. But it's nice to talk about old memories. I mean, I still liked what I did. I'm proud of what I accomplished in the sport. So yeah, it's kind of two-edged.
And just the last one for me, how much the perception changed among people watching you after the first BJ fight? Was that a dramatic shift, or was it the second BJ Penn fight that really, in your mind, solidified to people this is the lightweight, and this was not a surprise the first time?
Yeah, definitely the second fight. The first fight, I had to convince myself that I could beat BJ, and then when I did that, the second fight, I knew I could. So then I kind of was able to put the stamp on it, but that solidified me, I think, and really introduced me to the world at that moment.
Frankie, you're going to the modern wing. It's going to be alongside two of your rivals, Aldo, BJ, fighters like GSP, Cormier, Khabib. Now Frankie Edgar. How does that sound when you hear that?
Yeah, I mean, the names you said are legends and the best of the sport, and to just be considered, among those names is why you get into the sport. I always wanted to be the best of the best. I always said I wanted to be the Michael Jordan of the sport. I don't know if I quite landed there, but to make it to the Hall of Fame is pretty special.
Yeah, I mean, you've had an extraordinary career. We view a lot of it through you being like undersized, the underdog all the time. Is that how you see it too, or is there another word kind of you'd like to use to describe your legacy?
Yeah, no, I'm down with that. I'm like the everyday man. I'm not a big guy. I'm not the strongest guy, fastest guy, but I found a way to win through heart and determination. I always left it in there. That's probably the thing I want people to walk away with. Like I never went in a fight thinking I was going to lose. Because I prepared the correct way, and I always put my 100% into every fight.
And what's your advice for that next fighter who fits that Frankie Edgar mold, who's kind of whatever, just doesn't, maybe he's undersized or it's some other reason people say, oh, this guy's not going to be UFC champion. Just believe in your preparation, believe in yourself. Confidence is a stain that can't be wiped off. If you're a confident dude, you can do anything in this world.
Frankie, congrats on the honor. When we talk about size, is it a point of pride for you to be one of the guys, along with BJ Penn and a few others, who kind of sold a lot of people on the lighter weight classes who were maybe reluctant to watch them?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think when BJ was running through everybody and they said he didn't have many opponents. I came in there. I think I kind of threw a monkey wrench in that whole thing, and that started the lightweight trend, and then 45 started catching on. Now 35, and now 25. I mean, you just give it time. It's going to happen. The sport is just too entertaining for the little guys not to get their shine.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Hey, Frankie. So it was said that you really represent the audience and the fans, and that a lot of the folks who watch the sport really resonate with you. What does that mean to you as an athlete within the sport?
Yeah, no, to be able to be relatable to the fans is everything. I think MMA guys are probably the most relatable out of all athletes. I don't think I'm any special or nothing. I can kick it with just about anybody, and I'm not the biggest guy in the world either, so people kind of can relate to me.
Do you feel like that makes you almost like a role model for folks who want to get into this sport, seeing you there and seeing what you do? Do you feel like you're an inspiration for people, or do you like how that feels?
Yeah, I mean, I don't try to talk to myself, consider myself like that, but yeah, if I could be inspiration to someone, you don't got to be the biggest, fastest, strongest guy to get it done. But if you, have good willpower, good discipline, and you're willing to sacrifice, then yeah, you could be that guy.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Frankie, you stepped away from the sport, retired a little over a year ago. Are you content in retirement, and what does this current chapter of your life look like?
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't want to retire. I just thought it was the time to. I still think I can compete and all that, and I still have those juices flowing through me. But I'm directing it more towards my family. My kids are wrestling and helping some young fighters, and I'm actually opening up a school, a jiu-jitsu and MMA school in my hometown soon to be.
I feel like, the question for any long-time, champion or fighter when they retire is, will you ever come back? And when you say the juices are flowing, is that itch, is that real? Like, have you experienced that? And a lot of fighters talk about it.
No, I haven't sought to go look for any fights, and nothing's came across my desk, so I haven't really been tempted. If something comes across my desk, would I be tempted? Maybe, but right now I'm not looking towards. I'm trying to look towards the next generation, help build these next guys.